in the mini Mahayana teaching, Sudra said many beings take so long to be complete, achieve the complete Buddhahood. Reason is because even they practice the Dharma, same time they make a mistake. Because of that mistake, it causing them to damage their practice. So that reason it take longer to achieve the nirvana. So that way, we have to learn how to protect ourselves from the not damaging. So in generally, in the Buddhism, we divide it into the three different kind of category. It's called the Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana. General practice, like a essential point of a practice is all same. Doesn't matter you practice a Hinayana or Mahayana, Vajrayana, you have to follow on the three trainings. But when you're practicing those three trainings, and each vehicle or each yana give a little bit different, different way, different method, different vocabulary, make a little bit different, but point of true meaning of the practice is the same. All three, Hinayana, Mahayana, Vajrayana. So that reason, we have to learn how to protect ourselves from when we're practicing. So this is 14 root downfall is related to the Vajrayana. And Vajrayana divided into the basically 4 different kind of classes. And each classes have their own downfalls, like action tantra, performance tantra, yoga tantra, anuyoga tantra. This 14 root downfall is mainly related to the anuyoga tantra, highest yoga tantra. Like so this teaching code is collected from teaching like a chakra sambhavara, kala chakra, and those high yoga tantric, and bring all put together to this 14 root downfalls is basically originated from those tantra. So when we talk about the highest yoga tantra is talking about the including lower yoga too. So like this is in the Buddhism, when you reach into the higher, you have to know that you have to including the lower one too. It's not just only higher. You have to know how to make the whole body together. I don't know how, maybe can call the whole body as a practice. So when we talk about the highest yoga tantra, it is including to the action, performing, and yoga tantra too. So when you talk, so this 14 root downfall is based on the anuyoga tantrics tantra. So teaching is from those tantra. So this 14 downfall is collected from the tantra too by composite, wrote by one master called Master Bambila. And also, I think Nagarjuna also did have Nagarjuna's wrote, and I think Biruapa also have wrote, but this text is particularly said in the Bambila wrote. So we already gone through the 8 from last week, but I want to still refresh on that. First one is said so said, speaking ill of the Vajra master. So who's the Vajra master? This is not some, these days some people receive the Vajra master title. That is nothing have to do. Even that person have no title. Anyone who give you the empowerment, especially high yoga tantric empowerment, and specifically empowerment of the fourth empowerment, or it's called the word empowerment. When whoever give you, that is called the root guru or Vajra master. It's the same. When you try to compare to him or her, or you think that you are better than him by knowledge, by caste, or by look, or whatever, you know, and also saying bad things about that Vajra master, particularly this, and generally there's many masters, you know, in the Buddhism said, even someone give you one stanza teachings, if you talk about that person ill, 500 lifetime you will be born in the dog. So this is generally, but particularly Vajra master, from whom you receive the fourth empowerment, general empowerment, and particularly fourth empowerment of the highest yoga tantra. Then when you say ill about that master, then especially based on your afflicted emotion, you know, if you say criticize the Vajra master because the Vajra master have a problem, then it not become downfall. You have to divide this one. Even that person give you the, if that person is your root guru, if his view or something is have a error, wrong or mistake, you can correct that one. That's nothing wrong, because it's when you criticize on that, it not come from your what called negative emotion. But when you criticize on that, come from the negative emotion, like you know, jealousy or pride. So based on that, if you come some kind of criticism or saying ill, then that is become a downfall. So you have to divide into that. Kevin, I left one text there, red text. Can you bring that on the lobby somewhere there? Then second one is said transgressing the Sugata's teachings. So Buddha's teachings is when summarizing Buddha's teaching, is all about the three training. When you're violating of the three training of the morality, training of the samadhi, training of the wisdom, when you're violating on one of three training, then it become downfalls. Because sometimes people think, you know, things can do in the Vajrayana, but they cannot do in the Sudrayana. So there's have sense of people have a sense of oh, Vajrayana have a certain things have a permission. So this is not true, that one. So as long as you are practicing the Buddhism, it's the same. If you transgressing of the Buddhist teachings, which is the three training, then it's become a second downfall. Then third one is called when you're angry toward to the Vajra brothers or Vajra siblings. So here, Vajra sibling means from one Vajra master, in one mandala, from one deity's empowerment, same time you receive empowerment. All those people are your Vajra brothers. So that reason, lately now is giving to the all the higher tantric empowerment is publicly, but traditionally, lots of high yoga tantric empowerment is not give to the public. One, two, even give to the public have a number like like a 25 is the like a maximum numbers. There are certain tantra. Like when I was receiving the Vajra tantra empowerment from the Ngor tradition of Sajja, we have so many people, but they perform complete empowerment only to the 25 people. So it took like several days to finishing all people receive the empowerment, but they never perform all those empowerment are publicly. So I think certain traditionally supposed to be high yoga tantric empowerment shouldn't give the publicly, because why? Because it's really difficult to keep in samaya, Raja brothers samaya to everyone. It's really impossible. It's really difficult. There always some kind of conflict come. So much easier to keep that samaya for the small number. So traditionally not give to those empowerment to the publicly. So that way, there's one, I think Drupaguli once said, you give lots of empowerment and collect lots of what called the samaya brokers. So this could possibly happen. So that way you have to be careful. Sometimes people think, oh, long as that guru is high, then doesn't matter who you are receiving empowerment together. You have to keep the same samaya or commitment as like a Vajra brother. This is Vajra brother is like a sibling, same parents, like brother and sisters. That is in the Vajrayana, brother and sister kind of sibling of the Vajra brothers happen if you receive the same empowerment, same deity, same guru, same time. Then it become a Vajra brother and a Vajra sisters. Then fourth one said, abandoning the loving kindness toward to the sentient beings. There's two I want to explain. One is sometimes people think, oh, loving kindness means just kind of like a, emotion, some kind of sympathy. It's not only talking about, that's easy to, everybody said, oh, I love every sentient beings. So it's first is you have to know the context of what does love mean. In the Buddhism, context of love means that want them to happy. How you can make them happy is by benefiting them. So when you have chance to benefit someone, if you're not benefiting to them because of your selfishness or some other reasons, laziness or selfishness, a reason to you not benefiting them, that is what it means, the not loving kindness, not abandoning loving kindness. So otherwise, I mean, just if we're talking about the emotion things, then anyone can do that one. When you sit on the cushion and try to love everyone, it's really easy, especially if you're living alone. It's really easy. Oh, I love everyone. But when you go to the society and try to love, it means that you wish them to happy. How you make them happy is by benefiting them. What they need, what you can do. So that way, loving kindness means that wishing them to be happy, and by supporting whatever you can, to try to make them happy. Okay, by benefiting. And here said sentient beings, plural. So there's no one will abandoning loving kindness toward to the sentient beings. You're not going to find. So, but here, why they put the sentient beings is because the great immeasurable loving kindness have to be meditated every sentient beings. That way the plurals comes. But when you abandoning loving kindness toward to the one being, doesn't even you can maybe have a loving kindness toward to the 99.9% of the sentient beings, but only and said the root down, what called root of the Dharma is the bodhicitta mind. Abandoning this is the fifth downfall. So bodhicitta have two kind of bodhicittas. both are root of this. In the Sutra tradition, you know, we call the relative bodhicitta and absolute bodhicitta. So relative bodhicitta is a aspiration bodhicitta and action bodhicitta, and absolute bodhicitta is a meditation on the emptiness. In the Vajrayana tradition, is especially in the maybe can say, or you can say as a Digung Rizichada, Digung Tamaki said, absolute bodhicitta is the union of the bliss in emptiness, and the relative bodhicitta is the aspiration bodhicitta and action bodhicitta. So when you lose any of those, then as a downfall. So, and especially in the Vajrayanas is called the union of the bliss and emptiness. That is called the great bliss. Great bliss means the not losing bliss, you know. So those, that kind of bodhicitta. Then sixth one is said disparaging the own philosophy of other. So here they said philosophy, but in the Tibetan we call the drupta. Drupta is, I think, a little bit different than philosophy. This is more like a. I found this morning from my Mr. Google. So this is a drupta means the establishing the conclusion. What is the establishing the conclusion or finalizing viewpoint, can say? Or final view. Yeah, final viewpoint is a drupta. So this is specifically talking about the Mahayana view, like a Panchana Paramita. Sometimes people think, oh, the Panchana Paramita is not complete and this and that. Okay, so some think that Mahayana is not great enough, like a Vajrayana, especially Vajrayana practitioners. Sometimes have that kind of this. So, but you know, truth is, if in the Vajrayana, there's some degree of a method as a giving as a Vajrayana, but when come to the absolute view, or in the Nima called the Dzogchen and the Kagyu called the Mahamudra, that point is no different than Panchana Paramita. So if you think Mahayana is the Mahamudra is better than Panchana Paramita, that kind of, then it become disparaging the Mahayana. Make sense? Especially Mahayana teachings. And the general, specifically, but then generally, any kind of a philosophical religion view, you cannot criticize. You know, you can debate. Debate is a kind of a polishing, you know, like when you want to create a fire, you have to rub the two wood really hard. Similarly, when you want to bring to the new, knowledge, you have to debate. Debate is to try to bring to the new knowledge through the discussion and debate. It's not about the one winning, one losing, or anything. So if you criticize on them, then it becomes like, oh, Mahayana is worse than Vajrayana, that kind of criticize. But you can debate with them. That by debating, when you debate, you can say, oh, this is a better, you misunderstood, or this and that. You can say that one. This is not like a, you know, disparaging. Disparaging. It's not same as a disparaging, because you want to know what their viewpoint of their viewpoint. When you're debating, your intention is you want to know exactly how they believe, how they can see. But when you disparaging, it means that you just want to look down. Yeah. So those are totally different. So not just only Buddhism, even the non-Buddhism, There's some quote said, "Mudichela memija, mudichela meja na number na religious," which means that do not criticize the Tirtik non-Buddhism. If you criticize the non-Buddhism, you are distant from the Vajrayana. Then last one, seven said, explain the secret instruction, higher tantric teachings to those who being not render mutual. What is a render?
Render means to do.
Okay, so not mutual, not rapini.
Mature.
Yeah, not mature. So there's a several not mature. So one is called the vessel, not mature. Mean the somebody who are their mind is with the like a wrong view, someone who have a wrong view. So that kind of beings are vessel not mature. But the second one is called the non-mature by the ceremony. It means that you not yet received the vast empowerment. And the third one is called the non-mature by the complete ceremony, mean that you not receive the secret and wisdom empowerment. So without the vast secret wisdom empowerment, you're not allowed to give the fourth empowerment, which is called the word. That is what is mean that here saying is explaining the secret, yeah, is a sacred instruction. It's especially in the fourth instruction. And also, you're not allowed to give to those who are not mature by profound. It means that some beings have a fear of hearing emptiness. Yeah, in India, they said like a Heart Sutra and teaching like a text like Heart Sutra, not recite publicly. It's really recited secretly because some people, even their Buddhism, they get scared, fears. I think this is similarly happened. I heard there's some scientists get, psychological problem because they see the planet is a kind of almost like falling apart. They get scared. So some people have a fear of emptiness. So that is what is mean that not mature by the profound. So that kind of beings, you cannot get the specially secret instruction, fifth instruction, fifth instruction, yeah? Fifth instruction of fourth empowerment. So it's also they saying is what mean the sacred instruction, not just only sacred instruction, all the sacred things you're not allowed to show. Sacred things mean like a sacred consort, sacred sign, sacred substance, and a sacred Gana chakra. So right now, what we do is not Gana chakra. There's a Gana chakra is something else, it's a high yoga tantra practitioner they have. So right now, what we do is called the Tomo. Tomo means the festival, food festival. We think that is Gana chakra is not same. So those kind of sacred, those things not allowed to show, not raping. So there's one quote said, Rupa Pemagawa, he said, only allowed to go in India, those Gana Chakra performing ceremony, person who can give the sign language answer. At the gate, there's somebody asks you the sign language question. If you know the answer, that means that you already received those all ripening empowerment and instruction. So that way, then you are eligible to can go. So that those things like a sacred Gana chakra is not same as right now, but there's more profound some ceremonies, and those things if ordinary people see, they can have a misunderstanding. So not allowed to see. Then number 8 is the nature of the skandha are the 5 Buddha. So the Sutra tradition, we said five aggregate is the source of suffering. Okay, so that way you have to learn how to detach. But in the Vajrayana, as a, how to detach skill is different. Both are same. Cutting attachment is the same, but in the Vajrayana, you can cut ordinary attachment as a transforming your five aggregate as a five Buddha family. So there's a five aggregate form as a Vajrayana, form feeling as a Ranasambhava, perception as a Amitabha, form, feeling, perception, mental formation as a Amoghasiddhi, and consciousness as a Akshobhya. So this is a also you can call the Vajra body, Vajra mind, Vajra speech, Vajra quality of Vajra activities. So in the Vajrayana, in the transforming your five aggregate as a five Buddha family. So if you what call neglect, or if you abuse, so there are so many different ways you can abuse, five aggregate. So most is abusing is come from the neglect. But if you do some sacrifice, like Buddha did the 6 years, ascetic meditation, Milarepa did the 9 years, only rely on those are not neglect. They are ascetic practice. I think maybe not same. But I think this is neglecting or abusing is like we using drug, alcohol, or harming ourselves, cutting, chopping, or killing, and those things. And those all is a part of that. So if you do any of those, try to harm by neglecting your five aggregate, then it become downfalls. So this is also what called the neglecting is also including to, choking yourself, jumping from the cliff and try to kill yourself, or impure discipline. Impure discipline means that certain religion have you just, sitting on the fire or sitting only on one leg, sitting in the fire, or sitting only on the leg, one leg, or that kind of impure discipline. Something that certain things only what called the pressure or make the suffering of the body, but nothing benefit for the mind. So those and also cutting your own limbs and things like that make I think maybe can say not related to the mentally, discipline, and just physically some kind of discipline. And also, I think sometimes we have a discipline for the fame. Make sense? Like you pretend like you're great practitioner, discipline around the people, and try to, what called.
Like putting on a show?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. Those also can become an impure discipline. So those are actually you're abusing your body. They have nothing have to do with your spiritual practice. So anything is I think is a kind of like a temporary benefit. Why to you are abusing your body? I think all those can be used as the same way as neglecting your body. And now this is the nature of the skandha and the five as a five Buddha. Oh, sorry. The number 9, casting doubt on the pure nature of the phenomena is the 9th downfalls. So there's two things. In the generally, what is the pure nature of the phenomena? what is the pure nature of the phenomena? As all the phenomena are naturally empty. Yeah, naturally empty. If you doubt on that, that is become. Then in the Vajrayana, it said purity. You have to know the purity of deities. You know, purity means that whatever appearance have inner wisdom qualities. So, like in the earlier said, we said 5 skandha are 5 Buddha family, and 4 element are 4 female Buddha. Or sometimes it's a 5 element are 5 female Buddha. So so we already shared earlier. Then 4 elements as a because our body is actually built by the 4 elements. 5 elements. Yeah. Our flesh is earth. Flesh born is earth. All the liquid in the body is water. The heat or warmth or is fire, and air, including the breathing, is the air, and body is full of space. Actually, that is the space. So space element. So our body is actually built by the element. So when we're not recognizing those 5 elements as a 5 female Buddha, so what is the earth element? Earth element is Sanje Chema, Buddha Pali. It's, I think, Buddha Pali. And water as a Mamaki, and fire as a Kokarmo. So this part of the those 4 Buddha, female Buddhas, Sanskrit name I don't remember. I try to memorize many times. And wind as a Tara, and space as a is called a Vajra. What's called? Doji Yingchuma in Tibetan called the Vajra. Now I forgot that one also. Doji Yingchuma. So this is when we're not recognizing, and we call the 5 elements. Actually, somebody who recognizing, and that's called the pure nature. Pure nature means that seeing the truth one. You know, so whatever see the true nature is called the pure nature. So impure nature means the fabricated one or polluted one. So how to pollute is we have a conceptual thought from the ignorant, so that way it's polluted, so couldn't see the truth. So that way we said 5 aggregate and 5 elements. But when somebody can see true nature of the 5 aggregate and 5 elements, then can recognize them as a 5 Buddha family and 5 female Buddha. In the Dharmakiti, he said, naturally, outer universe, inner Vajra body, other mandala, other mean the mandala of the deity, they are inseparable. You know, they are oneness. But somebody who not recognizing that one and having doubt about by separating them, you know, think they are different, then that is also it means the doubting on the pure nature. Because actually we have outer universe mean the 5 elements. Inner Vajra body is also 5 elements. And deity's mandala is also 5 elements. Purity of the 5 elements is which called the 5 Buddha family. So they are inseparable. So in the Buddhism, we said diluted and free from delusion. Deluded means have a conceptual of a dualistic. Yeah, we call the samsara, nirvana, outer, inner, me, you. They are that kind of dualistic. Free from delusion means the wisdom of non-duality. Somebody who realizes the wisdom of non-duality, that is actually see the true nature. So that is the true, pure nature is a non-dual wisdom. When we have a conceptual of outer, inner, and other as a duality of other, called the outer, inner, other. Outer means the universe, inner means the Vajra body, other means the mandala. When we have that kind of dualistic, that is called the impure conceptual. So pure conceptual is a who recognizes those three are inseparable. So it's naturally those three are inseparable. But when you have a doubt on that, then it becomes downfalls. Then, of course, also when you have a doubt on the emptiness, and and even your Buddhism, some have a doubt on the emptiness, some have a fear of the emptiness. So that is also empty nature. If you doubt on the emptiness, then it's becoming downfalls. Then now is the number 10. Yep. Persisting in the friendlessness toward the being of the destructive nature. This is the 10th downfall. Actually, Chogyam Trungpa called this the idiot compassion. So when you have an idiot compassion, and it's become a 10 downfalls.
Dice que la número 10, persistir en la amistad hacia los seres de naturaleza destructivos. Esta es la 10ª caída. Dice que el señor Jiten Sumgong le llamó a esto la compasión de los idiotas. Cuando entonces practicamos la compasión de los idiotas, es la caída número 10.
So this one is a what called the being a destructive, nature. Destructive nature. Destructive nature is a someone who critically want to destroy the 3 jewels, or to want to destroy the guru and destroy the deity. Whatever, anyone who really hate the Buddhism can say, or can say naturally hatred, someone who's always in naturally hatred, and some especially those beings who cannot be tamed by peacefully, by loving kindness, by compassion. And when you cannot train them peacefully, and still you loving toward them, and that has become downfalls, what called continually loving them as a 10 downfalls. So in the Buddhism, it's called that sometimes they use as a 10 ground of a liberation. Sometimes it's called the enemy showing all the 10 ground. So someone, 10 evil beings, evil one. So there's a 10 kind of. What is the 10 kind of? Is it someone generally enemy of the Buddhism, want to destroy the Buddhism, and more particularly, and who want to destroy the our Vajra Masters body, and also someone who destroy our Vajra brother and sister, and who are want to destroy the or harm to the yogic practitioner himself or sentient beings. So there this kind of a 10 lists is called the beings, kind of what called the dystopic beings, evil being, who are to the 10 ground of liberations. So now here is a contradictory, is a in the earlier said, if you give up loving kindness to the sentient beings, even the exception of anyone, it become a root downfall. And here said, if you love to the, the dystopic, destructive nature, if you love, is become a downfall. How can manage this one? Both are kind of like one or other will be downfall comes. If you not tame the dystopic one, it's become a downfall. But if you try to, destroy those dystopic one, it become a downfalls. So in the Vajrayana, even you want to tame them with a wrathful activity, you cannot give up them care and loving kindness. You have to do from the loving kindness. That way, this is a problem. As I mentioned this earlier many times, wrathful practice, if you do without the loving kindness and compassion and bodhicitta, what happens is you get a downfall. Because without knowing, when you recite the mantra, when you perform the ritual, it will harm lots of beings through that. So you get a downfall of harming other sentient beings by performing that one. So this one is basically who can do is someone who can liberate the consciousness. As at least they have to achieve the first movie to see where's the consciousness. So in the generally we say that there's called the 3 way to pleasing. The yogi who can perform the wrathful activity is that someone who can please 3 way. First is called the pleasing yourself by destroying the enemies, removing the enemy. Yeah, so please yourself. Then the second one is then the enemy's body transform to the feast offering. Transform, not just offering directly, transform to the offering, pure nectar, like 5 meat, as one of those transform, and offering to the Daga and Dagini and please them. Then third one is liberating the enemy's consciousness to the Pure Land and please that enemies. So if you can please all 3 ways to please, then yes, you can perform the wrathful activities. So when you perform these wrathful activities, you have to perform with the loving kindness and compassion, not the hatred. Yes?
What about all these people running around that have wrathful empowerments and doing wrathful practices? How should they approach?
So they have to generate bodhicitta. Without the bodhicitta, it's really in danger. They can be reborn in the evil spirit.
Well, how should they approach their practice if they haven't reached the first boom?
So that way they shouldn't.
The first boom is a big step.
Yeah. So no. I'm saying is the performing the wrathful activities. Yeah, it's not same. Performing wrathful activity, like directly you're destroying the enemies. Yeah, that is different than just purging to the wrathful teachings. I'm not saying, but still, even the wrathful ritual, so you have to be really careful, because when you like lots of Tibetan, Buddhism, we have wrathful rituals. Especially we do when people get sick. When you perform wrathful ritual, you can help to the sick one. Yeah, And lots of those sicknesses come from the harm of the evil spirit. Make sense? Then when you perform that ritual, you may help to that sick one, but you will harm that spirit. Even that is the evil spirit is harming as a sentient beings. You know, they are including belong to the sentient beings category. So you harm one beings and you help one beings. So there's a danger will comes. Okay, then 11 said conceptualizing about the primordial state of the phenomena, which is beyond the word and thought. This is the 11th downfall. So how to conceptualizing as a primordial state of the phenomenon? There's a called Krishna Acharya, one Indian master, Naboba. He said there's two kinds of phenomena or dharma. There's called the phenomena or dharma of the literature and the dharma of the realizations. So dharma of the literature is like those science like grammar, art, healing, and philosophical science. Yeah, this philosophical science. Those called the dharma as a literature. And the dharma of the realization is there's two generally meaning and or is called the specific meaning of a specific characteristic. So generally, and the meaning of the specific characteristic, he said, is the phenomena are beyond the name, word, letter, yeah, a sign, and expression. Beyond that, the two meanings. So so that is the actually the specific characteristic about, or the two two meaning of characteristic of the phenomena are that nature beyond the conceptually can express. So when you are putting on them conceptual like then it's a downfall. I think that is true, because if you look this way, when we have a conceptual of a dualistic, from the conceptual of the dualistic, we have put the characteristic. With the characteristic and describing as a good, bad, and all those, what called the description, can you say? Description? Yeah, description, definition. Description. Yeah, description. They only can put those description when we have a conceptual of dualistic. Long as we put the description, there always come that feeling about attachment or feeling of the hatred. So by that, we fall into the samsara. So that is the big downfall. So when you see the true meaning of the phenomena, which is the non-dual wisdom, then even you don't want, you will liberate it. You have no choice once you see that ultimate nature. So I think that reason, I mean, that way, if we have a conceptual of the dualistic, then we can put those all that name, sign, and we put those label, then that make us the downfall. When we are free from that conceptual, then it's that true nature. So then it liberated us. So, and when we have that conceptual, then it become a downfall. Because the phenomena are naturally free from those expression of a name, sign, and any kind of characteristic description. Description? Yeah. So Krishna Acharya said, don't deceive the sentient being who are with the devoted by, wrong livelihood. By when you're living with the wrong livelihood, there's called the kasa tsuji sholong nyembe nyemba tsowa. There's a 4 way to deceive the sentient being with a wrong livelihood, like saying nice things for gaining the offering, and pretending something that is who you are not. And also like asking, someone give a this. So basically indirectly asking, to donation. So this kind of things called the wrong livelihood. So if you perform the wrong livelihood, and one day you can pretend and you can deceive someone, maybe 2 days you can deceive someone, but you cannot deceive that way forever. Sooner or later they will know. I mean, people are not really completely idiot, completely ignorant. Sooner or later, when you're deceiving, will know. Then when they know, then they give up totally dharma. This has happened lots of time. Especially in the Tibetan Buddhism, it's called the Lamaism. People just follow to the Lama, not the Dharma. And most of people who follow to the Tibetan Buddhism is not really following to the Dharma. They follow to the Lama. So when you are following to the Lama, then when you have a problem with the Lama, or when you see some problem with the Lama, or anything is happen, then you just losing completely confident in the Dharma. So I think that reason everyone have a responsibility of, and especially ordained or Dharma in senior practitioner have a huge responsibility of make sure not losing the newer comings confidence, and faith in the Dharma, because senior and the older practitioners behavior can impact to the newcomers' faith, increasing or so I think that is have a responsibility of all those senior practitioners, including the ordained, especially I think ordained, because people think the ordained are Dharma practitioners. When the ordained does something, worse than lay people, then people totally lose the faith in the Dharma, not the, if the people, wisdom enough to distinguishing the Dharma and the person, then no problem. Your behavior is individual's behavior is individual's problem. But most of people not distinguishing the person and Dharma. They think it's the one. So that way, and when the Dharma practitioner misbehaving, from that too, people will lose the faith into the Dharma. That is it, shouldn't happen that way, but it happened. And particularly, as I said, Tibetan Buddhism is a kind of Lamaism, not really Buddhism, So especially in that case can happen more, so that way, I think I have to be really careful on that. So there's a Indian master called the Shendiba. He said, do not overturn the sentient being who are with the devotion. So how to overturn? How to overturn? By deceiving them. So there's like a few different deceived. first is called the deceiving by the materials. So deceiving by the material mean the collecting the material, wealth by wrong livelihood, including to the deceit of the measurement. Those called the deceit by the um, materials or substance. And second is called the deceiving by showing the wrong path. It's showing the wrong one. So what is the showing the wrong one mean? That it's just giving the mundane, philosophy or mundane education. So like something that's like a magical, showing the magical illusion, or just talking about the paratale, what call this? Like some kind of story. Huh?
Fairy tales.
Yeah, paratales, and those kind is called the deceiving by the showing wrong one, and it's called the deceiving by the wrong kind of wrong object took refuge. It's just like a take refuge to the not qualified object to refuge. Can say, yeah. So yeah, inappropriate taking refuge, and or kind of like making them meditating to the like atma or self-cherishing. So this kind of things, why to deceive the sentient beings from why they deceive the sentient beings? Because they are taking power away from the liberation path, yeah, from disturbing them or distracting them from the true dharma. So that way it's becoming deceiving. So when somebody is devoted, maybe you're not disappointing them, but if you show them the wrong path, some kind of like a magic power, including to the wealth deity and things like that, I think just try to make them deeper in the samsara. Well, whatever is causing to the deeper in the samsara, I think it's called the deceit them. Because when a sentient being have a devotion to the three jewels, Buddha, Dharma, Sangha, the devotion doesn't mean that they want to be nirvana. But you giving them too much on the mundane dharma, and actually these days people are really attractive with the mundane dharma. So maybe that is a good business. I don't know, but too much is becoming deceit to the sentient being. Yeah. And Kain said, not relying on the samaya in the way of a well-received is the 13th downfall. So this is some people thought samaya. So some commentary I think saying samaya in the way they were received. Sometimes think that is a samaya receive mean that when you receive the empowerment, you receive the samaya. So this is talking about specifically like when you perform the Vajrayana ritual, and you will receive the like a nectar and chalk offering, things like that. Okay, so specifically it's called the 5 meat and 5 nectar. So those are even you are fully monk, fully ordained. When you're performing the Gana Chakra and things, and even you're not eating dinner, Gana Chakra, you have to accept for a little bit. You have to take that one. And normally, monks and nuns, we don't drink alcohol, but when doing the sudden ritual, the Vajrayana, you have to take kind of substance, like a wine or things that offering, you have to take that one as a substance, because they are normally in the in the Vajrayana, it's called the 5 nectar, is called the 5 lamp, yeah, lamp, like lamp like this. Okay, and 5 meat is called the 5 hook. So why is it called? Because of that, by this nectar bleeding of the energy of the power of a practice. So that way it's called like a bleed, lamb bleeds, can say? Bleed, like
Please.
Please. Yeah, please. And all the CD are bringing to the accomplishment of the CD by those 5 meat. So that way I call the 5 meat is called the Jagyu. So those are a part of the realization, can say, part of the practice of the accomplishment. So you have to accept that substance, even you are fully ordained. When come to the Vajrayana practice, if you say, oh, I'm fully ordained and I cannot accept this one, then there will shortage come. So this one, so you have to know this. When, you know, in the, maybe this is a little bit complicated. Aryadeva said, when you have to choose wisdom and a morality, you have to choose as a wisdom. Because of the morality only can be reborn in the higher realm, wisdom can liberate it. So here, your fully ordained morality and the substance of the wisdom, which is more important, is that substance. So yes, I think it a little bit damage your morality by taking that substance, taking late dinner and taking a substance of the like alcohol, whatever is as a blessings. Yes, it come according to the Vinaya alone. It damage your Vinaya by that. But still, there's a greater outcome come from that receiving that one. So that way, you can sacrifice your moralities, damage a little bit is okay, if long as there's a high accomplishment is involved. So that reason said, if you have to choose a morality and a wisdom, you have to choose as a wisdom. So I think this is here something a little bit. There one said, when Tsongkhapa went to Zabri is where Khenpo Rinpoche was born, and then some Dagini offered him a nectar, Kabbalah of a nectar. Because he is so disciplined with the morality, he didn't accept that one. They said, if he accepts, he can be great Mahasiddha. Because he didn't accept, he didn't get those accomplishments of that part of the Vajrayana. So I think things like that, sometimes it can be, I'm not saying there are no downfall at all whatsoever. I think there will be some degree of downfall, but really not downfall from the Vinaya part. Even you get that kind of fragile? Not fragile. Yeah, kind of damage. Fragile. Still, you should accept those substance when you are performing the Vajrayana practice, because there are greater benefit outcome from that. So I think that reason is saying is a 13.1 is that not rely on the samaya in the way you are received. It means that when your samaya substance you receive, you must accept, even you're fully ordained. And you fully ordained and someone who not taking dinner, still that samaya substance you have to take a little bit. Now, so 14, this passing woman whose nature is wisdom is the 14th downfall. So, this passing is said dispassing, maybe mistaken, yeah, spelling. DESPISING. Displeasing.
I disparaging, isn't it?
Disparaging, okay. Maybe spelling mistake, okay. Disparaging women whose nature is wisdom. So, so this is not talking about every woman, okay. Yeah, I don't think so. It's necessarily is a woman whose nature is wisdom. Is a always every woman are naturally wisdom. I'm not sure that one. But in the Vajrayana, we said mother tantra means the mainly wisdom, and father tantra means the mainly method. So method and wisdom as a give as a name of the mother and father, male and female. And also here, woman whose nature is wisdom is talking about like a Panjara Paraminda and Varahi and Tara. They manifest as a form, female body form like a Achi and what called Majilab Gitama, Maya Devi, Kanji's Devi, and there are lots of like a countless like great female emanation. They manifest as a female form, and so those are manifestation of the wisdom body of the Panjana Paramita or Vajravarahi. So if you criticizing generally women are bad and the women are lower and women are this, then they increasing them too. So I think this is one, but I'm not saying it's not bad, but it's not become a rude downfall to criticizing just specific women. Some women have a problem. I mean, that is not become a rude downfall, but it become a negative, yes, negative speech, harsh word. And yes, it become a negative, but I don't think so it become a rude downfall. But if you look generally, women are kind of like a racist way, not racist, sexism. Yeah, sexist way to, you said, oh, women are bad, women are this and that, then you are including all those wisdom beings. In the Tibetan Buddhism, people talk that dakinis. All those dakinis are including there. So we don't know who's actually dakinis. And we don't know who's actually emanation from the Vajravarahi or Tara or, or the Panjana Paramidas, all those women around us. Truly, we don't know. So if we criticizing generally women, then including them too. Make sense? So I don't think so. It's becoming downfall to if you say something, particular woman, criticize on that. I don't think so. That is just becoming negative karma, but it's not becoming downfall of the Vajrayana. I think those two are maybe a little bit different. So the Tikkun Rinpoche Cheta, he said, Panjana Paramita is the wisdom body. Okay. From similarly, the Panjana Paramita of the wisdom body as in the third empowerment and wisdom consort. It's the kind of like a similarity of that Panjana Paramita as a wisdom. I'm not saying it's a wisdom consort or a Panjana Paramita, okay? But similar that one is a wisdom consort as a third empowerment. So that reason, if you disparaging the women, then you are criticizing them, those wisdom beings too. So that way you cannot criticize. If you criticize it, it's becoming downfalls. Okay, so that is one. Said if a mantrika, it means the tantric practitioner, give up this downfall, he will definitely obtain the siddhi. So I'm sure you heard this many times in the Vajrayana teaching said, if you are once you receive the empowerment, even you don't practice, long as you not break the samaya, you will liberate it within the, longest one is to take the 7 lives. So this one is if you're not the downfall of those 14, definitely you will liberate it sooner or later. It's the longest one is to take the 7 lives, that 7 lives. That's why I said he will definitely obtain the siddhi. Siddhi means the uncommon siddhi of the Mahamudra, state of the realization of the Mahamudra. Confess all the violation, stain and mistaking and downfall of all the root and branch samaya constituted the body, speech, mind of the Buddha. Please grant your blessing and to purify and cleanse this. So we, with the knowing, without knowing, we made it 14 root downfalls, 8 branch downfalls, and there are other minor downfalls. We made it lots of things. So we have to confess in front of the Buddha and Bodhisattvas, you know. So like Adisha said, non-virtue have no good qualities, but only one quality is you can purify it through the compassion. So that is here. So here said composed by the Loban Avila, but in Tibetan said Babila. So I don't know which is the pronunciation, but Acharya Babila. Okay, thank you everyone. And Janju Sem Jo Rinpoche Manje Bana Ge Joje Ye Bai Nyam Bai Mem Bai Kone Kondo Pe Wai Shoi Tata Konde Tan Je Je Tu Sundo Sabada Yebe Jeve Sawandi Tata Senje Tanje Nyundo Lana Memba Yanda Bazo Pe Janju Ramboje Taba Joje Isheja Kose Kunjen Choje Je Tende Nala Wando Ante Gomba Rejembe Je Demba Sede Shedu Tosan Gomben Zingyuru Ji